Talk to Cassius. Conversations with today's icons from business, sports, and entertainment. I'm your host, Cassius F. Butts. We are back again here with Talk to Cassius, and thank you for joining us again. Very happy to be in a place where we're looking at serial entrepreneurs. And, this show is all about business, sports, and entertainment. Today, we're focusing really on business. We are here with Atlanta's own, the CEO of Arden's Garden, Leslie Zinn, who I consider a friend and also just a powerhouse. Leslie, thank you for being with us today.
Oh, Cassius, I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, Leslie, we'll jump right into it because a lot of people have really had your product. They probably did not know it was a woman, family-owned business. They probably thought it was some corporate conglomerate that is actually doing it, but it's you and it's your family. You started this. You got over 200 employees. You're about to have 19 locations in the Southeast. How did this all begin?
So it's really interesting. It's a fabulous story. So my mom is Arden, and she was just the biggest health nut growing up. Back in the 70s, she was feeding us the grossest food combinations, smoothies, way before people were drinking smoothies, and hers didn't taste good. And she was just completely devoted to health. And she read about a juicer that she always wanted, but it was too expensive back in 1963. Fast forward 30 years, she's still pining away for this juicer. Now it's $2,200. She still can't afford it. She says, I don't want to go my whole life without this juicer. Right. So she does the all-American thing. She gets out her credit card, she buys the juicer, and she calls all her friends and says, I have this amazing juicer and I want to make juice with it. So if you want it, I'm going to make it for you. And that's how we started.
Wow. So you wrote and you write, you were the guinea pig that tried all these different flavors, right?
For sure. Always. Yeah.
But it's interesting you mentioned your mother, and she didn't really just start off really just starting to create this product. She was an entrepreneur herself, right? I mean, you come from a family of entrepreneurs in education with your father in higher education, right? So
yes,
you're almost destined.
So my mom was into health.
Yes.
All aspects. So back in 1971, she opened up her first exercise studio. Nobody was exercising in 1971, but my mother was. And It's interesting, the exercises that she was doing back then are what's super popular now. Okay. Sort of yoga, isometrics, body work, body sculpting. She was doing it back then. So she had a Arden Zinn Studios from 1971 to 1985.
Wow. And you've got a great picture there of Jane Fonda in the back there. You got some history with that, right?
So when Jane Fonda came out with her workout video in 1980, my mother had 2 studios. And when that video came out, she went from 2 studios to 24 in 3 years. Wow. So Jane Fonda definitely paved the way for my mom's foundation to really grow. So it's a very interesting thing to have in the background there.
Well, I tell you something, Leslie, you really actually kind of stumbled upon this whole product because you were interested in being a chemist. Is that right? Chemistry?
I wanted to go to medical school.
Medical school. Okay.
Yeah.
So thinking about that mindset of going to medical school and then putting together, I guess, different, I don't know if you call it fruits and different ingredients to come up with a solution. How do you actually come up with the flavor? How does that happen? We get a chance to just drink it and it's great, but how does that magic actually happen?
So we're not as interested in flavor as we are interested in health benefits. So what we do is we choose the fruit or vegetable that we think is necessary for people to drink or to put in their bodies, and then we try to make it taste good.
Okay.
Sometimes we succeed.
Yes.
Sometimes you just got to drink it.
You've got something that's kind of new on the horizon, though, and I was fortunate to tour your new location just south of Atlanta, which I would encourage you all, if you get a chance, stop by. She's got a storefront. We were there for the ribbon cutting. It was a great day. But you're doing actually, is it vegan-infused products now?
We are. So we are expanding our whole plant-based food line because I am plant-based, my family is plant-based, and I know how hard it is for me to stay committed to what I'm trying to do. And so I need other people to help me. And I know there are other people that need to have companies like ours that are willing to make products that are healthy that we can just grab and go. So that's our new area of focus.
Now, you were fortunate. You had the vision to do it before the Burger Kings did it with the plant-based, burgers, those sort of things, right?
Yes.
But talk to us about the benefits of having a plant-based diet and why that is really, you talk about why it's important to you, but talk to us about actually, why that's important to us. People who have been thinking about it, afraid about it. You hear these stories, well, I don't know, there's more chemicals in there that will give me this type of result. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So we're very focused on whole foods, plant-based. Yes. So there are a lot of vegan options out there that I would not consider healthy. But if it grows on a tree, it comes out of the ground, yes, you're in good shape. So if it comes out of a bag, you might want to give it a second thought. Yeah. Everything that you buy should be in some way perishable. It's got a life force in it. And I'm focused on plant-based for so many reasons. I mean, the top 3 killers in the United States, heart disease, number 1, kills over 500,000 people every single day. Cancer, diabetes, these are all lifestyle diseases, and we have to change our diet so that we become healthy as a nation. It's imperative.
Well, and that's incredible to hear, because we're trying to figure out more ways to expand our lifespan, but it's also not just about what we're putting in our bodies, but how we respond to what we're putting in our bodies. Working out. So it's just not eating healthy, it's working out, right? It's making those decisions that's going to make not just your lifestyle better, but also your families. If other people can see you do it, maybe they'll get encouraged,
Sure. Yes, absolutely. I mean, wellness has so many facets to it. You've got nutrition. In my opinion, nutrition is number 1. You cannot outwork out a bad diet, but working out is number 2. Sleep, right there with it, stress, meditation, all these things that are so important for us to focus on. So I think the linchpin, though, is really what we put in our bodies to start everything off.
Now, when you talk about being an entrepreneur, you're CEO of this company. I mean, and it's huge. You're in how many Whole Foods stores now? Are you're in?
I think we're in 36 Whole Foods. We're in 1,200 Publixes. We're going to be launching in Walmart.
Wow. So, you're growing, and you're growing pretty fast. The last time we were together, like I said, we took that tour, and you're a manufacturer as well, too, yes, right here in Georgia.
Yes.
Yeah. Talk about how that came about and where that location is.
Well, we have 2 locations where we're manufacturing. Both of them are located in East Point. We are manufacturing because we are super committed to how our product is made. And so my mom was a purist. Everything we make is cold pressed. So we want to know how it's being handled. And so we are actually manufacturing, distributing, wholesaling, and retailing our product.
Leslie, can you talk about cold press, what that actually means? We've seen it on bottles, but what does that actually mean when it's cold?
Okay, so the 4 elements that really hurt the nutrition value in juice are heat, light, air, and electricity. The number 1 culprit is heat. So if you don't heat up the fruit or vegetable, then you retain the life force of it. So a cold press basically means you chop up the fruit or vegetable with a sharp knife, and then you put it into a filter bag that is pressed, and the juice drops to the bottom and the pulp remains in the bag. That's what a cold pressed juice is.
So I would take that, I guess when I was in college, and I would tell my mom I'm eating my vegetables. I put the vegetables in a pot, and I keep it there so long it turn pale. That means it's no good. All the nutrients are gone, right?
That's right.
Okay.
You killed it.
I killed it. So much for me trying to be healthy. Well, I would tell you something, Leslie, your story is fascinating, and people really, they try to take on to people like you. I mean, you're such a strong, in my opinion, just a strong spirit. I mean, you've got the mindset to say, hey, I want to get this done. You've got a family-based company. Can you talk really about how did you expand your family, and how did your mother and your family play a role into expanding? Because you just obviously didn't do it by yourself. You including your family in this whole process.
Yeah, so my mom is definitely the founding member, the visionary. It was her idea. My brother and I, we kind of came along for the ride. She needed, her first juicer. If you saw it, we have it in the front of our plant, but it's about this big.
Yeah.
It's a home juicer. It makes about a gallon an hour. There's no business on this juicer. One thing to know about my mom, she doesn't care about money. She just cares about wellness.
Yes.
So my brother and I, she brought us in because we were free labor, and my brother took one look at that juicer and he said, there is no business on this juicer. We need to buy something that we can really make juice on. So it started super small. We were in the back of the health food store, and not really selling a whole lot of juice. We were bottling in mason jars and we were writing the names on the top of the glass jar, and as a last ditch effort, we just asked our mom to go into Buckhead and try to sell these juices. And she decided to go to hair salons, and that literally just turned everything around for us. So it slowly grew. That was 1994, 5, right around then. So
you talked not too long ago about the same location. If you could tell our listeners about that location in Midtown and how you really want to have that building. Talk about that. That was such a great story.
Our first store in Midtown. Yeah. So we were in the back of this little health food store at near Terra Theater, and we outgrew it because we were selling more than our table could handle. And so they had, my brother lived in Virginia Highlands, and there was a location open. It had been a Little Caesars Pizza, and it had been open for available for 10 months. And we went and met the landlord, and they wanted $2,500 rent. And to us, that was about $2.5 million because we were paying nothing. And we were terrified. And the guy was just desperate for any tenant. And so he told us, look, I will give you a lease with no security deposit and a 30-day out at any time. And we said, well, what do we have to lose? And that was 1995. I'm still in the same location. That's our first retail store we opened. We were manufacturing out of that spot, which don't ever manufacture out of a retail spot. It's tough, but we did it, and we grew, and we're still in that location today.
So you're still in that location. You've expanded. You have going to 19 retail stores now, right?
Yes.
And you manufacture all right here in the state of Georgia.
That's right.
Right. The location that you opened up, how big is that location, and what actually takes place there? I mean, it was fascinating.
Yes. So our entire building is 180,000 square feet. We cold press, we blend smoothies. We are introducing, it's called HPP. It's not installed yet, but it will be coming in the next 12 months, which is where it's a post-production step where you use pressure to kill bacteria. It's not heat. And so that will be something that we'll be adding to our repertoire. Okay. But it's very exciting. We have the entire block. Never in my life did I think that we would have that, but we do.
Well, tell me, I know really that day was really special, and I know your mother had to be extra proud of you that day. You had a lot of dignitaries there for that ribbon cutting. Can you just talk about that day? What it meant?
So we were super excited because this was our second plant that we had opened in East Point. We have one on Main Street, which we opened in 2003. Okay. And so this was 2 years ago. No, the store was last year. That's right. So we had the mayor of East Point. We had a bunch of council people. We had you. We had several people from Leadership Atlanta. It was a super fun celebration because a lot of people didn't think that East Point could support a business like ours, and they have. And not only do they support manufacturing, but 2 of our stores are in the inside of East Point, and they've done very well. So it was a super fun day, and we're excited to be there.
Well, I tell you, it was great that day. And just to see everyone there to be so excited and happy for you was one thing. But for people to have a choice to have a product that's actually healthy and it tastes great, in my opinion.
It does.
I was able to take on a couple of different flavors. And for me, you're right. It wasn't the flavor. I felt great
I felt great afterwards.
Right.
We talk about cleansing, and you actually have a product where you actually talk about cleansing your body. Can you talk about that product and what it means to listeners and watchers?
Sure. So we have several cleanses that we offer, but by far the most popular one is the 2-day detox. And so basically what you do is you drink the detox. It's a mixture of orange, grapefruit, and lemon for 2 days with distilled water, and you don't eat any food. And a lot of people seem really afraid of that, but the truth is if you drink every hour, you stay very full, and it's really just mentally you miss eating. And the reason that it's such a great cleanse is because digestion is the most energy requiring process that our bodies go through. And when you drink fresh juice, it's absorbed right through your abdominal wall. So you get all the nutrition that you need through the juices, but you don't tax your body to assimilate the nutrition. So what ends up happening is your body gets all this great nourishment and it is not using it to assimilate it, so that it starts to rebuild itself. And you just feel incredible. People cannot believe it. It's very, very popular. You have to just go into it, say, I'm going to do this, and then reap the benefits.
Now, I would tell you, and that's something I'm actually going to go out today because it's time for me and my cleanse. And so thank you for that.
Okay.
I hear these 5-day cleanse, 7-day cleanse, 30-day cleanse, but yours is so popular. I've heard so many people talk about it, the 2-day cleanse.
Yes.
And it also has almost the same effect that those other ones that I just mentioned. You have these items, and this is really important, Leslie. They're patent. This is your brand. This is your creation. This is not some other third party saying, hey, we've got our product on your shelf. This is all you, right?
It's all us. Everything that we that carries our name, we are manufacturing ourselves. We've been making the 2-day detox since 1996.
Yes.
I mean, we've been juicing and cleansing way before people were juicing and cleansing. I met someone down at a conference in Florida, and they heard, what company I was, and they said, "Oh, you're the OG." So we're the OG of cleansing and juicing.
But you talk about the different products you have. You have the cleanse. You have your smoothie specific. You have the products where you have plant-based. And so is there a particular product that you said we should focus on first before going in to trying the different products and being on a consistent basis, especially for us who are changing our lifestyles? As you know, I'm a pescatarian, but I said, Leslie, 50's at the door, so I'm knocking on it. I'm going to make some changes to it. What would be the best steps for me to take?
Yeah. So the best thing that I can recommend is that you drink 1, maybe 2 fresh juices a day. It can be any flavor, because when you're eating, you want to eat the rainbow. So when you're looking at juices, just pick some different colors, because that tells you the different phytonutrients that they have in each one of them. And then I would say the same as far as plant-based foods. You want to eat as much plant-based as possible. So if you're going to be a pescatarian, make your fruit and vegetables the biggest part of your diet. We also introduced recently 2-ounce shots that have specific health benefits. So for people that are on the go or on the run, or they want something quick or something that's going to boost their immune system. So we have a shot, for example, called Firecracker. It's enormously popular because it's ginger and lemon and cayenne pepper. So it just kicks up your immune system. Wow. So the 2-ounce shots have been a lot of fun and very, very popular.
I would imagine in the COVID environment that we're in today, that's probably pretty popular, would you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's something that, I think a lot of people, if you've heard firsthand, these opportunities, these products are not just for taste, they're for your health.
Absolutely.
Before we start to wrap up, Leslie, I just really just want you to kind of take us to a place where we could start, those who are entrepreneurs. How could people kind of get into this world of starting a business on their own? Can you please give some tips on what it takes to get there? We know every story is different, but if you can provide our listeners with some tips on how to start your business, what would that look like?
So I think that there's a benefit to not knowing what you can't do. Sure. I look back on some things that I did in the beginning that I would never try to do now because I would think I couldn't do it, but I ended up being able. For example, one time I wanted to get bottles directly from the manufacturer, and the manufacturer was here in Atlanta, but we were buying through a distributor. Anyway, long story short, they wouldn't do it. And so I found a company up in Pennsylvania who agreed to sell me a truckload, only I had misjudged very badly how much storage space I would need for this truck. And this truck driver literally spent all day with me unloading his truck, which, if you know, truck drivers do not do that. And had I know, like now, I would be like, we can't do that. It'll never work. But I didn't know. So you just put one foot in front of the other and you keep showing up and you don't take no for an answer. I mean, I must have been told no by grocery stores so many times, but I just kept showing up. I kept bringing my bottle. I kept looking for another avenue. I think so much of success is suiting up and showing up no matter what.
No matter what. You're right, now, because you talked previously about knocking on Whole Foods' door and like, hey, I need to be in here. You know.
Yes, and they told me no the first few times.
How many times did they tell you no, Leslie?
3 times. Wow. They told me no 3 times, and then I got in. One store.
You got it. Just took it to one store. One store. Now, as we begin to close, if you really can just tell us where your stores are located and how can people come taste some of your products and be a part of it?
Sure. Well, you can go into any Publix store and you can try a wide range of our juices and shots. Our own retail stores are basically in Metro Atlanta, all over the place. If you go out a little bit, we have one in Athens, Georgia. We have one in Douglasville, one in Woodstock, Stone Mountain. So they're kind of out there, and then they're also in Central Atlanta as well.
And you know, one thing I've noticed, Leslie, over the years, because we met along when I was in my previous role in the administration, the federal government, and we were so blown away that you were right here in our backyard, and more people didn't know it was you. Yes. I probably never asked you this question, but let's see if you can give me a response. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be blown away. Talk about, because you don't do a whole lot of marketing. But you're everywhere, right? When people see that emblem, they know it's you. How did you come up with that emblem?
I have to give credit to my graphic designer, David Poitras. Another example of if you don't know, you can't do it. You know, I got his name from a friend of mine, and he was up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And I called him and he said, oh, I'll come see you. I mean, we had one store, Monroe. That was it, nothing else. And
in Atlanta, yeah.
I didn't know, he was, fairly established, and he drove all the way down from Winston-Salem, and he gave us our entire look of the idea that the life and energy flows out of the bottle, and that's where it came. But we never did any marketing because we didn't have any money. In fact, Cassius, the first loan I ever got was from you.
Wow.
Was from the SBA
wow.
to buy our first plant. So everything that we made, we put back in. And if it was between buying a machine or marketing, it was buying a machine.
Buying a machine.
So.
Wow. And you still have that same machine in the front when you walk in.
We do.
Which is beautiful. Honor to your mother. I tell you. Leslie, I really want to thank you for spending this time with us today on Talk to Cassius. Your story is incredible and it's inspiring too. A home-based business, family-run business, a woman who is nothing to play with it. She's about the business, and we really want to continue to support you. Where can we come pick up a couple bottles and purchase some bottles? Can you do it online these days?
You absolutely can do it online. You can go to ardensgarden.com. You can come to any of our stores, and most retailers definitely in the Atlanta area and a lot of the 6 states surrounding us will have us.
Ardensgarden.com. We will look forward to it, and you're going to see some folks coming in and doing that. I'm going to start my 2-day today. Just let you see it. Listen,
let me know how it goes.
I will. Thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you all for tuning in for another episode with Talk to Cassius. I'm your host, Cassius F. Butts. Remember to continue to follow your passion. You'll be certain never become lost. Take care.